Hey, so I'm back on Showdown now, and uh, this is kind of like I guess a video to show that I'm in this new league called the FPL. Uh, we've just drafted. This is also to show, I guess, showcase my team for that league because you know I'm gonna be uploading. I mean, it's mandatory to upload the videos of you battling, so I guess I should go over my team because if you're watching, you'll be seeing uh, these battles in the future. So this is just to explain my picks. Uh, you know, show what, or I'll basically be telling what I did. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. So we did this in kind of like a how do you say it? Like a UCL version, where we draft 3 mons from OU, 3 mons from UU, instead of 3 mons from RU and 3 mons from NU, we chose 2 mons from RU, 2 mons from NU, and 2 mons from PU. Now, I didn't I didn't completely vote for, or I didn't completely, I guess I didn't really want that to happen. I wanted it to be more like a GBA because I feel like it's more balanced if you do that, but more people want it this way, so that's what we're going with. But yeah, so actually, at like the last 2 or 3 Pokemon, they don't have much thought to them because I was just thinking of maybe some resistance as I need on my team. Um, so they're gonna be hard to explain. But let's just get into it. So the first Pokemon I drafted was Manaphy. Manaphy is one of my favorite Pokemon in the League type format. It gets a lot of coverage moves. Especially its main move that you're probably gonna always run is Tail Glow. Boosting your special attack by 2.5 for, I guess, 3 stages. Um, it really sets Manaphy up for, uh, a good position to sweep. So Manaphy, the thing about it in OU is that there might be a Pokemon that could wall it because you only have 3 attacking options along with Tail Glow, so there could be a Pokemon that walls it. But when you can see your team or your opponent's team in a league type format, uh, you can modify your Manaphy to hit almost all of your opponent's Pokemon, if not all of your opponent's Pokemon. Um, so yeah, so this thing can run coverage moves like, as you can see here, Ancient Power, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Ice Beam. It gets Scald, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. There's a ton of options for it. It can also be defensive with Calm Mind. And because of it's a special attacker, it has access to all the hidden powers. I think it has Dazzling Gleam too, so it has, if you can use any type of attack, and it'll be effective with Manaphy because it gets that gigantic boost. It has 100 stats all around, so it's a pretty decent Pokemon. Um, uh, I'm going to be playing to use this a lot, and hopefully it'll work out. So my next Pokemon, it's actually Tornadus Therian, because these 2 Pokemon work really well together. Tornadus Therian is a good, I guess, balance breaker. It's really annoying with its regenerator ability because it can just heal off the damage. So yes, Tornadus has a rock weakness, but with your regenerator ability, it's kind of nullified because you're gaining more every turn. Sure, you're not gaining as much as you would without rocks, but you're still gaining more than you would with rocks. So its rock weakness is nullified with its pretty good ability. Mostly you would run an Assault Vest Tornadus because its defenses are okay, but with an Assault Vest you can take a lot more hits, and because it's really fast and decently strong, it has really good utility, especially with U-turn. With U-turn, you can gain momentum, maybe with Manaphy or something. I don't know. It also gets a ton of move options that you just wouldn't think of. It gets poison for fairies, fighting for all sorts of types. You can run substitute, tailwind, taunt, just a ton of options for this thing. Um, and yes, U-turn is a pretty good move on this. Yeah, so that's why I picked Tornadus. Um, my third Pokemon was called Keldysh. So this is a league with 16 people, and usually you're gonna get sniped out of your picks because I really wanted Ferrothorn for my pick, but someone got to that first. So I decided to choose Conkeldurr. The reason why I chose Conkeldurr is because it has a ton of options for like hitting things. Mainly, Fighting Stab is really good. It has a ton of attack and Drain Punch to get health back. It can bulk up, but it also has a lot of coverage moves like Earthquake. I think it has every punch. Thunder. Yeah, it has every punch. Knockoff for like Ghost and stuff. Poison Jab for fairies. Rock Slide. It's a pretty good Pokemon. I think it can fit on my team, especially with the next Pokemon I'm gonna pick, because I knew I'd probably get this Pokemon. If I didn't get this Pokemon, I think I would be pretty upset. But I did get this Pokemon, and that is gonna be Mega Agron. So Mega Agron is a defensive beast. 230 defense is just crazy. Along with its filter ability, it doesn't show it here, but filter basically makes it so if you have a weakness, damage done to you is half. So it's basically thick fat, but better. Filter allows you to take ground attacks, fire attacks, fighting attacks, with relative ease with Mega Agron. Plus your insane defense it's just a tough Pokemon to break. Also, I didn't have any Stealth Rockers, so I need Stealth Rocks. And this Pokemon has a ton of coverage, kind of like Conkeldurr and Tornadus and all the other Pokemon I won, because that's what you really want in a draft type format, or draft format. You want a bunch of Pokemon with coverage. Obviously, it gets Steel Stab, it gets Ice Punch. I think it gets Thunder. Yeah, it gets Thunder Punch. Pretty sure it gets Fire. Yeah, Fire Punch. Earthquake, Stone Edge, stuff like that. It gets Taunt for like, I don't know. It's not fast, but it could definitely break some really slow Pokemon, and not let them attack. Like maybe Ferrothorn. I know someone drafted that because I wanted it. Yeah, it's good defense, and Conkeldurr has 140. So does Agron. Agron also has pretty good attack. So if you can utilize Agron's attack, it can be a very powerful Pokemon and a real threat to his team, to your opponent's team. That's why I drafted Agron onto my team. So, next Pokemon that I think works really well with Agron, and it might not seem apparent because Agron, well, it's Steel type and it's weak to fighting and all that, but I drafted Blissy. Now, Blissy, it has a okay it has a pretty good special defense, but with its HP and special defense, literally a special attack is not going to do anything. It might do 30% on like a focus blast from a special attacker with like a life orb. I don't know, but Blissey will take up special attacks, and paired with Agron, it also gets Wish Pass. So Agron's inability to heal, or I guess reliably heal. It does get rest, but that's not really reliable. Blissey paired with Agron, it's kind of deadly. Blissey provides support for the rest of my team too, like Conkeldurr, Manaphy even, because Manaphy doesn't have a reliable way to heal, and it would be beneficial to heal in case it gets weakened and I need to still sweep with it. I think it gets healing. Yeah, it gets healing wish and wish, so you can use those two options. It gets all the fire, ice, and electric moves. Because it has decent special attack. It has Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and then Dazzling Gleam. These are all offensive options, but you could use this as a defensive mon. That's what I'm mainly going to be using it as. It gets Soft Boiled, T-Wave, and Toxic. Again, Wish. It's just a decent one all around, and really pairs up with Agron, so that's why I drafted Blissy. Down to my last UU pick. Again, this is where, kind of like on Keldysh, I was struggling to pick a Pokemon that really suit my team, but I really wanted a fire type, mainly Chandelure, but that was stolen from me, so I decided to go with Nidoqueen. Now, Nidoqueen is it's another one of those Pokemon that gets the Ice and Electric and Fire stab. It gets Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam. So it has really good. It has all-around stats. Its stats might not look good, but paired with Sheer Force, has a really good offensive ability. And it's amazing coverage. It can be offensive and defensive. You really have to watch out for Nidoking or Nidoqueen. As it can put on work on your team without you knowing it. You might think you can check it, but you don't really know what set it's going to be running. It could run Scarf. That's may sound like a weird set, but it can run Scarf and beat out some Pokemon that you just wouldn't expect. It gets Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes, so it's a pretty good Pokemon for hazards. It's also an electric community, so people have to watch out, especially with like Raikus and Manectrics. Nidoqueen can help with that. It also gets Earth Power and Sludge Wave, two really like strong stabs that get boosted by the Sheer Force. So I thought Nidoqueen was pretty good. It was a pretty good replacement for Chandelure, not in its stab, but mainly it fit well on my team, kind of like Chandelure. Now, looking at my team, I have some offensive Pokemon like Manaphy and Keldysh and maybe Tornadus, but mostly my team is defensive, and I kind of want to get rid of that. My team is also really slow, besides Tornadus again. So I decided to go for my first RU pick. I decided to pick Emboar. Now, Emboar does not alleviate the slowness of my team. I just wanted a really powerful Pokemon that could really threaten an opponent's team. This thing hits like a truck. It has 123 attack along with the Reckless or Blaze ability, and Flare Blitz. It gets Flare Blitz, it gets Super Power, it gets Poison Jab, Zen Headbutt, Rock Slide. It just gets a lot of options. I think Emboar will be really powerful on my team. Again, this is where I don't have much explanation for these Pokemon, especially when, there were less and less Pokemon I could draft from, and I don't know. I'm planning on not using all my NU and PU picks, but I definitely think Emboar can be useful. Moving on to my next Pokemon will be Uxie. Now Uxie is probably it's a really good Pokemon in my opinion. It's really defensive. It has decent speed. 95 is not bad, or it's good for that matter. It gets Calm Mind. It gets moves like Psychic. It's a really defensive Pokemon. It also gets Stealth Rocks and Heal Bell. And then again, along with Chansey, it could also heal up with Wish. It doesn't get Wish, but it can heal up with Wish. It also has Magic Coats, like an Anti-Lead if I wanted to. I've seen that happen. It's a really disruptive Pokemon, and I think I needed a Psychic Resist, or because with Nidoking, Conkeldurr, and Emboar, I think the Psychic Resist was really needed, and I felt like I needed another bulky Pokemon, and Uxie fit the bill. I didn't want to go for something like what's it called? Mesprit. I don't want to go for that because it's offensive too, and it doesn't have really good bulk or HP. I mean, it has 105, but it's kind of like Rotom, where it has decent bulk, but it's it's kind of easy to break. I don't know. But yeah, so that's Uxie. Next up is, let me see. Okay, no, it's Righton. Okay, so Righton again. It's a really defensive Pokemon that's not really slow. That's mostly my team actually. Defensive Pokemon that are slow, or offensive Pokemon that are also slow, and then I have Tornadus and Manaphy, which are really my fastest Pokemon. Righton is again has pretty good coverage. It's quite weak to water and grass, but with its with Eviolite, it can take basically any physically a physically offensive move. Because of its really high HP and really high defense, paired with Eviolite, it can take hits, set up with rocks and stuff, and or maybe set up with like Rock Crush and Sword Stance, and really hit hard with 130 attack. Now, the thing about Righton is these stats are like nowhere compared to these stats, like 40, 40, 40, and these are all in the hundreds. So Righton has like key qualities to it, but it can't work all around in certain areas. But I still think it's a decent Pokemon. None of its abilities really support it, but I mean its moveset is really really good. It has for being an NU Pokemon and non-evolved. It has decent stats. I mean, it has pretty good stats, and even though its speed is low, if you put Rock Polish in like a Jolly speed nature with max speed, you can outspeed Pokemon that are really fast. Like I think this Pokemon can outspeed Tornadus if it gets one Rock Polish up with, making sure that you have like max speed or Jolly nature. But yeah, Righton can be really powerful. And I think people can underestimate Righton when it comes to the League format. Excuse me. So that's why I drafted it. Now, my next Pokemon was Kecleon. Kecleon is a protein Pokemon, and I think that that's makes it really special in the League format because you're never going to be able to expect what it's going to do. You can't bring Mach Punch and expect it not to bring Shadow Sneak or be faster than you. Sure, it has really good special defense. I don't know why, but it's really slow, and its attack stat is okay. Its defenses are terrible, besides its special defense, by the way. But its protein ability, along with the ability to Fake Out, Shadow Sneak, Power Up Punch, all these cheeky moves that don't really do much, but can really, I guess, hurt the opponent. It's really disruptive. It gets Trick. It gets Stealth Rocks for some reason. Sucker Punch. I mean, all these moves are I don't know. It's hard to describe, but Kecleon has this weird ability where it can do a lot that you need it to. It's hard to explain. It's hard to prep for it because it can do so much, and you can't really rely it being on one type. Like if it can't say, "Oh, I'm just going to bring a fighting type," and then hit it hard, when it just Shadow Sneaks, and then you lose. I mean, you lose a lot of momentum because one, you got damage on you, and your fighting attack didn't work. I mean, that's why I think Kirkland will be really helpful for my team. Again, this was one of those Pokemon that I said, well, maybe it could be helpful, but I think Kecleon is going to put in the work it can do, and it'll be helpful. I think in at least 1 or 2 matches. Now, now we had to at this part of the draft, I had to do PU Pokemon. I'm not going to talk about this Pokemon I guess a lot. It has water absorb. I guess I should say. It's Lapras. It has really good stats, good HP, decent defenses. It has Dragon Dance. That's kind of weird. It doesn't have really good move pool. That's the thing. It could be helpful for a defensive wall and like something that can take up water attacks, but I don't know. I think it's really lackluster, and there weren't a lot of PU Pokemon that I felt fit my team. I had a good water weakness, so I thought that maybe Lapras could help alleviate that, but I don't know. Lapras is an okay pick. I'm not going to talk much about it. It's on the team. I might trade it away or free agent. We'll see. Now, my final Pokemon is what's it called? Oh, Chunn Ninja. Now, Chunn Ninja is its stats are abysmal. Its best stat is 90 attack, which is not that good. 1 HP meaning it dies to every hit, and I do not have any hazard control. As you can see, no hazard control. However, this Pokemon is just there to, I guess, put fear into my not fear, but like my opponent looks at my team and says, "Oh, he has a Chunn Ninja." Well, Chunn Ninja could totally like Swords Dance and Baton Pass, and ruin my life if I don't bring in a super effective hit on this Pokemon. So I hope that Chunn Ninja will be able to, I guess, change the mindset of people's team building. Now I know this is going to be uploaded and people will be able to see this, but hey, I'm not being Chunn Ninja on you. You never know. Chunn Ninja can be helpful if you can literally if you can sorry, if you can't do anything against Chunn Ninja, it's a problem. Even though it doesn't have any good stats, it can agility pass, it can Swords Dance pass, it can Will-O-Wisp, it can put a hurt on your team. I think it's a really carefully designed Pokemon, kind of like Kecleon. It's really underrated, but also it's really not that good. But we'll see. Chunn Ninja could show up one game. It could be any game and really, I guess, help my team. I mean, a Swords Dance pass could be good, an Agility pass could be good, because my team's really slow. But we'll see. So that's my, I forgot the name of the league. The FBL, yeah, that's my, FBL team that, I put together. And, yeah, please check out, there's probably going to be a website down below. If not, it'll be uploaded, or it'll be added in the description, later, because right now they're working on the website, so just look out for that. Also, I'll be posting my my matches. I don't know who my round 1 opponent is, but it'll be uploaded on either Saturday or Sunday. I don't know the exact date, but also there should be a team builder the day before my battle. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, just stay tuned for these team builders and battles. That's mostly what I'll be uploading. And yeah.